Welcome to my YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Presenting to you the second episode on this new series called Half-Baked Ideas. In my first episode of Half-Baked Ideas, I had volunteered to throw one idea that you might think is absurd, but I believe holds an interesting potential. If someone out there wants to run with it, by all means, please go for it. But I'm running with that idea too. At least testing the feasibility and exploring possible collaboration opportunities with the broader entrepreneurial community and the investor community. So if you think we can work together, let's grab a coffee, either in person or over Skype, WhatsApp, whatever works for you. I almost didn't want to start this conversation with the statement, Buddha was born in Nepal. But here I am, doing exactly that, but by saying that where Buddha was born is irrelevant, I guess. What is relevant, though, is that the land of Nepal has the right type of spiritual energy that enable the process and the path of inner journey of Buddha. Buddha explored a certain type of path, tapping into the energy, the beginning of which was a presence of intense suffering. His initial inspiration around the southern plains of Nepal. Much has been talked about, including in Thomas Bell's masterpiece book titled Kathmandu, about the talk of different types of tantric energy in Patan and such historical cities in the Kathmandu Valley. The mountains carry a different type of air pressure, a different type of energy, a different kind of intense silence that helps you listen to your own inner voice more clearly. Sadhguru himself talks about Nepal as a tantric body. For people all across the world, the stereotypical image of spiritual gurus in the East, particularly in the South Asia region, where the language Sanskrit was originated, probably happens to be an old Indian man, most often submerged into Hinduism as a religion, and includes immense influence in the guide to the spiritual process. Immense Hinduism influence in the guide to the spiritual process. There have been some Western awakening and quote enlightenment story figures and writers in the West who have explored different dimensions of spirituality, but the numbers are still lower compared to the gurus who happen to be overwhelmingly old Indian men. Now, there's nothing wrong with an old Indian man per se, or there's nothing wrong with having a guru to a certain point of spiritual literacy. But beyond that, following the footsteps of just one guru, many people on the spiritual path often tend to do that, following the footsteps of just one guru, just one individual human being, is limiting your own potential to the point and extent of that guru's growth or spiritual evolution, if you will. Following the footsteps of just one guru or a messenger of God pretty much starts taking the shape of religion or a cult, depending on the size and the nature. And it starts becoming less about what you experience yourself as a human being and more about the stories, so often the noise drafted and crafted by those who claim to have dug deep in spirituality. You are just as capable as any other individual to start your own spiritual journey at your own pace. The pace is different for everybody. and draw your own conclusions without listening to other stories about morality and how exactly you should be living your life, what time you should wake up, what practices you should do, what you should eat, what you should not eat, how you should perceive life. Depart from religion. Depart from religious or spiritual leaders who start playing God in subtle ways. God is not another individual. God is not another power out there. God is a process of becoming. Experience life yourself. Explore the different facets and foundations of life in a place where there is more intense quiet, oftentimes in the form of peaceful, ocean-like quiet. Despite Nepal being a landlocked country with no direct access to a sea or ocean, it still carries that peaceful, ocean-like quiet energy. And sometimes intense pain type of quiet. Perhaps because Nepal carries a certain type of suffering and often useless pain. People complain about the same things all the time. It's insane. It also provides a fertile ground for spiritual growth and inner strength to take place. Nepal is a potential place for rejuvenation, for recovery, for the unlocking of your true potential. With Visit Nepal 2020 coming up, the government of Nepal's policy must be to create an environment conducive to growing the tourism sector in Nepal through defining and promoting a new category, the land for guru-less self-exploration. The land for guru-less self-exploration. Of course, we need to work on infrastructure, but infrastructure takes time. Infrastructure will come when it's the right time, when the stars are aligned. But hospitality can be focused on now. As a country and as a culture, we've always believed in this idea of Atithi Devo Bhava, this Sanskrit saying, which translates to guests are God. Guests are like our God. So Nepali people already have that warmth and that hospitality. It just needs a little bit of sharpening, a little bit of leveling the entire hospitality industry, the entire service industry around tourism up to help the world explore this land for their own self-exploration. Thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for the next episode, the next half-baked idea that's coming up. Your comments, thoughts, constructive criticisms on this half-baked idea that I just presented are always welcome. Please reach out to me, send me a message, send me an email. My email address is ghimire.kumud@gmail.com. Shoot me an email, send me a message on Facebook Messenger. If you have my number, shoot me a text, give me a call. Thank you so much for listening. I'd love to see where this half-baked idea goes. Thank you.